On March 25, 1911, it was a Saturday afternoon in New York City. The workday was nearly over. Inside the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory, hundreds of young workers, mostly immigrant women, were finishing their shifts. The factory occupied the top 3 floors of the Asch Building, high above Washington Square. They made blouses, shirtwaists, long hours, low pay. Most of them were teenagers. Some were as young as 14. Then, just before 5 o'clock, smoke began to rise. The fire started in a scrap bin beneath a cutting table. Fabric scraps, paper patterns, cotton dust. It ignited instantly. Within seconds, flames raced across the floor, fed by years of accumulated debris and flammable materials. The fire spread faster than anyone could react. Workers screamed. Some ran toward the stairwells. Some ran toward the elevators. Others ran toward the windows. The factory had fire escapes, but they were narrow, flimsy, and poorly maintained. As people rushed onto them, the metal twisted under the weight. Within minutes, parts of the fire escape collapsed, sending workers falling to the pavement below. Inside, panic exploded. One stairwell door was locked. It had been locked deliberately. Management routinely locked the doors to prevent theft and unauthorized breaks. Now, dozens of workers were trapped. They beat on the doors. They screamed for help. The flames closed in. The elevators made a few trips. Operators tried desperately to carry people down, cramming as many as they could inside. Some workers jumped down elevator shafts when the cars stopped coming. Others were left behind. Firefighters arrived quickly, but their ladders only reached the 6th floor. The fire was on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. They watched helplessly as people appeared at the windows. Some climbed onto the ledges. Some held hands. Then they jumped. Crowds gathered below. People screamed for them not to jump. But the fire was already behind them. Bodies fell faster than anyone could count. Some struck the sidewalk. Some struck the fire trucks. Some struck each other. The sound of bodies hitting the street drowned out the sirens. In less than 20 minutes, the fire was over. 146 people were dead. Most were women. Many were burned beyond recognition. Others were broken by the fall. Their remains were lined up on the sidewalk, covered with sheets. Families searched the bodies for shoes, rings, anything familiar. The factory owners survived. They had access to the roof. They escaped. Investigations followed. Testimony revealed what workers had known for years: locked doors, blocked exits, no fire drills, no sprinklers, ignored warnings. The building was legal. The conditions were not. The owners were charged with manslaughter. They were acquitted. Later, they settled civil lawsuits, paying victims' families less per death than the value of lost equipment. But the outrage didn't fade. It grew. Funeral processions filled the streets. Tens of thousands marched in silence. Others marched in anger. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire changed America. Fire codes were rewritten. Workplace safety laws were passed. Locked exits were outlawed. Sprinkler systems became mandatory. Labor protections expanded. The deaths of those workers forced the country to admit something it had ignored. Profit had been placed above human life. The Triangle Fire wasn't an accident. It was a consequence of neglect, of greed, of silence. The workers didn't die because they were careless. They died because the system failed them, and because no one stopped it until it was too late. This is WTF History. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire wasn't a tragedy because of the flames. It was a tragedy because the danger was known, the warnings were ignored, and the doors were locked anyway. 146 people died not because safety was impossible, but because it was considered optional. The laws that protect workers today exist because of what happened here. They were written in smoke, in steel, and in loss. History doesn't always change on its own. Sometimes it has to be forced. This is WTF History.